UFC 322. We were just talking about it a little bit. My man Malcolm Wellmaker.
Yes, sir.
MSG, bro. This is it's a fight fan's dream. It's a fighter's dream, and I don't think I don't think it's all gonna set in until you actually get there, right?
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, the words MSG, Madison Square Garden, all the historical fights that took place, it means something, but it's nothing like when I walk out, when I get to experience it with the screaming fans, the music, the lights, and my opponent in the cage waiting for me. Like, I'm going to get a real MSG experience, and, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, no surprises, obviously, but like, does let's do it? Does that translate to New York? I don't know if it does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know you got something up your sleeve.
Yes and no, to be honest. You know, Atlanta was super easy for me because I'm from Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, that song was ingrained in me, all my friends, the culture of the area. So it's going to be hard to top it. And I don't plan on topping it. I plan on creating another moment that's special for different reasons.
Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit off track here. We're going to talk fights and we're going to talk things like that, but since we're on the topic and you're a hip hop guy, I got into a pretty heated debate the other day.
Oh, Lord.
And I want to know your take on this.
I might need to know what side you was on first.
Okay,
but go ahead.
okay.
What you got?
So since we're in New York, right?
Okay.
We're going to go back. We're going to go to 50 Cent's first two albums, right? Get Rich or Die Trying, and then you have The Massacre.
Okay.
And then you have The Game's first two albums. You have the documentary, and you have Doctor's Advocate.
Okay.
So the argument was, does The Game's first two albums hold up or even top 50 Cent's first two albums?
So I'm gonna go ahead and say it up front. I don't know the track list that well. Like, I know the hits from it because in Georgia we weren't bumping him, like, you know what I mean? Neither one of them like that. We was listening to their hits because they was hard and it was their era. But as far as like comparing the two projects to one another, I can't tell you. But I think everybody would agree that, I mean, 50 Cent is so much more impactful in the culture, so much more his career did for the game than the games did. So I can't pick a side on that, but that would be my take on it.
So I'm trying to think Georgia-wise, what would that be compared to? Would we have to do like two Ludacris albums compared to, what would we even compare that to?
Bruh, I mean, cause 50 and the game was tied in with each other for a minute, so it would almost be like comparing Gucci and Waka Flocka.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And same thing, bro. Like, it's, for me, I can speak on that. Like, yes, Waka's era was crazy. Gucci brought him in, and Waka, like, turned the youngins up and made them wild, right? And he was coming out with the craziest, you know, LeBron, Flocka James. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those tapes was crazy, but you just can't outshine Gucci's legacy and impact in the game, I feel like. So I still got the same take if you put it in Georgia artists.
So no matter what, you're going with the guy who brought the other one into the game.
Yes, but I understand that's not a valid.
That's fair.
Yeah, because I'm not comparing the two albums against each other. I'm kind of comparing their impact as an artist and their legacy.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
But I can tell he wasn't on that side. He was going for the game.
You know, listen, my take, we won't get too into it, but my take was like, I thought The Massacre was like a hits album. It was a radio album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was when he was trying to make the most money and get into those mainstream funds. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. Yeah.
But Get Rich or Die Trying, top 10.
Come on, bro.
Top 10 in mine, personal all
that's
time.
ridiculous. Yeah, agreed. Yes.
Okay, so you make some money in the UFC, and one of the coolest things you did, you put some money in your gym and you ice out the whole team. Like, bro, how appreciative were they of that gesture?
My team didn't know I was coming to the gym. Like, I told them I was making a vlog, so hey, y'all, you know, I'm gonna have my team with me recording. But I didn't tell them I was giving them chains. I didn't tell them like the gift I had for the gym or nothing like that, bro. Like, they literally said to me like, bro, this is too much. And I was like, no, it ain't, bro. Like, I ain't taking it back, so too bad. You know what I mean? They are beyond grateful for, you know, the way I'm handling my success.
Yeah, that's a big one because you see a lot of guys. Sometimes fame gets to their head and things like that, but I feel like you're so grounded. Like, it's never going to be a point with you where you're not going anywhere without the guys that brought you there.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, people say, like, you know, the big success naturally changes people. But, man, I feel like I'm an exception. I know who I am. I know the things I truly care about. I don't have any desires to, leave Augusta, leave my team, leave my wife. Like, bro, I'm locked in. I'm happy, and all this stuff that I'm getting, all the success, this attention is just icing on the cake.
Have you had any because we talk to fashion and we talk things like that, but I want to know trades. Have any trade sponsors reached out to you? Has Carhartt been there? You know what I mean? Makita, that's always good to have around the house and things like
Right.
that.
I've had some small time people that make pearl snaps or welding caps, and we've talked a little bit. But as far as major companies, maybe after this fight.
Yeah, isn't it weird that we would wear Carhartts to work every day, and now it's Carhartt is
fashion.
Bro,
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, because you know what I'm saying? A jacket that my carpentry teacher would wear in grade 10 is now being bought off his back, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always funny for people like us that understand the purpose of Carhartt and how expensive it is, and how we'll get a Carhartt, we'll wear it for 10 years on a job site. We won't get rid of it till there's holes in it. But what's also funny is people buy Carhartt for fashion. They keep it clean. They take care of it. Bro, the first thing we do when we get fresh clothes on the job site, we throw it in the dirt and mush it around so we won't look like we got new clothes on. So it's just funny, man. Two different sides of the world.
Yeah, you're not you could work at a job for 10 years, and the day you show up with a fresh pair of boots on, you're getting rough.
Yeah, everybody cook you it's a lame move to take care of your feet, but that's just what come with the trade, bro.
Yeah. So the big one this weekend, right? Cody Haddon. Originally, it was supposed to be Surrey City, who's a Canadian guy in my backyard. And it seems like it's a big difference because you get this long, rangy volume striker to now this sort of grappler, right? How does that switch get fixed?
Bro, it's the fight game. So, it was a roller coaster of fast-paced events happening in that week where I signed the contract with Sir. He got injured that same week. And then by the end of that week, I was signed to fight Cody Haddon. It was just this crazy, chain of events. But, like I said, I chalk it up to it being the fight game. And I'm confident in my ability to fight that rangy striker or fight that dense guy that's going to come forward and threaten that I better be on my toes, because if it goes to the ground, I can be in trouble.
I was just going to say, how much time have you spent on rear naked choke defense this camp? Because I think man, it's got to be 75% of his finishes are RNC or something like that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that. It's so funny you ask that, because that means you know what you're talking about. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time working with my coaches, starting with people on my back, starting with people with me in bad positions, and trying to make sure I'm making the right small decisions, because those small mistakes are what get you caught in something like a rear naked choke.
I was just going to say that, because you see with a lot of these strikers, they go in there with grapplers and then they get caught with something stupid on the ground, and then they have this look on their face man, that was it. I spent that whole camp and this fight lasted a minute. You know what I mean? So
Yusuf Zalal and Josh Emmett. That's exactly what you're talking about. I think that was one of the fights we was all very, very excited about, and we could not wait to see, what type of firefight we was going to have. And less than a minute, just boom, it got taken away from us. But again, we all know Josh Emmett wanted to be on the feet, and he just made a small mistake, and that cost him the fight.
Last question for me. When you're looking ahead in this division, you see these top 5 guys and you start to see this grapple heavy style, yes, right? You see the Umars, you see obviously the champion Merab. Because you're such a good striker, from this point out, how much do you really work on your striking? Is it going to be a lot of wrestling and a lot of grappling? Because the striking is always going to be there. It's going to be hopping on a bike for you at this point. So how much of your camp and your day specifically looks at, wrestling and jiu-jitsu and things like that?
You asking the questions that's going to give my opponents what they need. No, I'm playing. But you have great questions, because these are literally the thoughts that, where we start our game planning and our strategy building in the camp. We look at the field in front of us and we say, okay, most likely we going to have the edge in striking here on out. It's not too many guys that we won't be able to outstrike, even if we was just dropped into a cage with them with no prep. But when it comes to the wrestling, when it comes to the grappling, you have guys that are very slick. You have guys that know to approach me and have success you don't strike with me, and I have to be prepared for it. So realistically speaking, it's been a while now. Like when I was preparing for Adam Bramhall forward, pretty much majority of my training is wrestling and grappling. Like my striking might be 25% of my fight camps. And even with that being said, that 25% is in an MMA setting. It's not a strictly striking setting. So not much of my camp is centered around striking, and we respect that moving forward, we have to be prepared for those wrestlers and grapplers.
Shawnee Mack, we're Full Set MMA. We're out here at UFC 322. That's Malcolm Wellmaker and Ole Do It.
Yes, sir.